23 ABC's Leah Freeman was at the concert when those shots rang out, and she's still in Las Vegas this morning and joins us on the phone now. Leah, we are so glad to hear you're okay. Take us through that moment when the gunfire broke out.
Yeah, guys, so it was probably, I want to say, like 5 songs in from Jason Aldean. There was a good amount of people around there. It's probably the most packed it's been for any other art or for any artist so far this weekend. Obviously, it was the last person we were seeing before the concert ended, and it was a few pops. It sounded like firecrackers, and I know a lot of people I spoke with that also were out there with me said that, I mean, everyone's pretty much saying the same thing, and you could tell, we all looked around and we were like, okay, what is that? Is that part of the show? You thought, yeah, maybe, someone was trying to be funny and, just, set up a couple of firecrackers, or maybe it was even part of Jason Aldean's show. So, and then we, once that happened, there was a good amount of silence for maybe, I don't even know how long, maybe 30 seconds. And then you just heard, just gunshot after gunshot after gunshot. And you didn't even know, I feel like no one really realized what was happening. And then me and my sister, we just looked at each other and we ran as fast as we could. And we ran until we could not run anymore. And, yeah, I keep running it through my head over and over. And like hearing everything about it again, and seeing the clips and hearing it, it just keeps running through my head. And there's obviously little snippets that come back. But yeah, we just ran, and we were super lucky with where we were located. We were, dead center, kind of in the middle of the entire, area. And so we weren't sitting, we were standing. There was nothing blocking us, no fences or anything, since we weren't right up against the stage. And so we were able to get out, fairly quickly, versus the people that were sitting in, the bleachers towards the back, or even the people that were sitting in the bleacher areas off to the right side of the stage. So, and I know a lot of those people weren't able to go, and they had to duck. And for us, we were able to run, and we ran.
So, Leah, when you began to run, as you described, from the middle of the venue, we're taking a look, and we're getting an overhead look of the venue right now, kind of getting an idea. When you say you took off running, at the point that you started running, did you even at that point know where the shots were coming from?
Not exactly, no. We kind of knew where we had heard them, and they sounded like, if you're looking at the stage, it sounded like it was coming from, the right side of the stage, or somewhere to the right of us. And it kind of seemed like it was farther up, so you could kind of tell that it was something farther up, which now that we hear that he was shooting from the 32nd floor, or one of those taller floors, it makes sense now. But at the time, you didn't even know. You didn't know what was happening. The first thing that went through my head was, oh my God, is that gunshots? Because I feel like there were a couple of noises like throughout. Anytime you hear a noise like that nowadays, you get, it puts you on the edge. You're like, what is that? Where is that coming from? You just think about that nowadays. And so, that was the first instinct. You think about what is that noise? Where is that coming from? And once we started hearing them continuously, we knew that was not a good situation. And we didn't really exactly know if it was gunshots, but we knew that we needed to get out of there as quick as we could. And I think even people started screaming at that point, gunshots. I don't know if people were starting to get hit, but around us, we didn't see anything. We were luckily able to get out probably before a lot of people did. And so we did not witness a lot of that. We just took off and never looked back, literally.
So, Leah, we've heard reports this morning that people, who ran out of there, such as yourself, didn't feel safe until hours later because, as you said, you didn't know where those shots were coming from. So at what point did you finally feel safe?
I still don't, honestly. I feel like you're at that point now where you feel like your life is forever changed, and now you look at kind of everyone and you're hesitant. You walk down the hall somewhere. I mean, we were even sitting with these other people, and you're just kind of like, what if they're connected to these people? What if, you don't know? And so I feel like now, you become very hesitant to everything. And so I don't know if I still even feel safe. But honestly, being outside, I felt the least safe, especially since once we started running, we actually crossed the street. We were able, somehow a gate was opened near the restroom area on the side. If you were looking at the stage, it was on the far left side of the stage, and kind of it was pretty much exactly where we were. We just took off to that end, and we were, I don't know, the gate was open and people were just going right through it, and it was like a big stampede of people, and we were able, there was a church building across the street, and a lot of people were trying to hide behind that once it kind of became quiet, because there were moments of silence where there wasn't anything, and you were kind of like, okay, what's happening? Is there going to be more? And you're just trying to like piece together everything, but also think of what you need to do and where you need to go at that time. So you're thinking, so many things in your head. And we were like, do we stay here? Do we go, do we keep walking? Is it safe to be out? There was even a time, because, they're flying news choppers. There's probably police in the air. And there was a time when my sister said to me, she was like, what if they're above us? I don't think we should be, out here. We should be up against something. And then there was a point where we tried to kind of stay near a building, and people were saying, no, let's keep going. And I was like, it's true. We should. So my idea was to get as far away from the strip as possible, away from the scene. So we just kept walking east of the strip. And that's, I think, where a lot of people actually ended up going.
I know this might be an impossible question, but in all of that chaos, once you began running, you got outside the fences you described. At one point, did you see any officers arriving on scene? Do you remember?
Arriving at the scene? Is that what you had said? Sorry.
Once you started making that run from the middle, getting outside the fence, were the police pretty much right on scene quickly?
They were. You heard sirens like that. As soon as we exited, because I think there were actually we were checked pretty closely when we even just walked in the festival. They would, pat our boots down, even check the ladies' purses, the backpacks, all of that. And so I think, there were even, cops on site already, and they were, it was pretty quickly how quick everyone was on scene. You heard the siren. There were car after car after car, and it made you feel maybe a little bit safer, but at the same time, you still didn't know where anything was coming from. You didn't know if, they were going to be in other hotels. You didn't know if they were going to be right where you were standing, if there were more than one person at the time. You just have no idea. So you don't exactly know where to go. And same, with the police, they don't know either. So, even being near them, you didn't even feel, safe. So it was just a lot of panic at once. And you could tell with everybody. There was just, I don't even know how to explain it, honestly, but it was crazy.
Well, we thank you so much for being with us here this morning, Leah. And again, we are happy to hear you're okay and your sister's okay. And have you been able to get in touch with your family?
Yeah, that was pretty much the first thing I did. I texted my parents. So at the time, I was afraid, because I was afraid my phone was going to die, and I wanted to save the battery as long as possible. And so I was like, "Don't call me. We're good." Because right away, obviously, as soon as it happened, we knew what was going on before, Twitter, social media, anything. And so that, right away you text, friends and family, and you're like, "I'm safe," and they're like, what do you mean you're safe? What's going on? And then, they want to know details and all of that. So yeah, the first thing I did, I just kind of explained it real quick. I said, shooter at the concert, or what we think is shooter at the concert, we're safe. And that was kind of it. And I sent it to like my closest family and friends. And then I started, getting a lot of people checking in on me, which I'm super thankful for. And then a lot of you guys even at the station. So thank you guys.
All right, Leah, we are just extremely gratified that you're okay, and we will be checking back with you in just a little bit as we get more information.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Leah Freeman joining us live from Las Vegas at the concert. We'll be right back. As much as possible. Welcome back to 23 ABC. We are continuing to follow breaking news out of Las Vegas this morning from overnight. More than 50 people, they're saying more than 50 right now, are dead after a gunman opened fire from what's believed to be the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay down onto this outdoor concert that was going on in Las Vegas over the weekend. Authorities are continuing to investigate. Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said in a press conference just about an hour ago that of the 50 who died, 2 are off-duty officers, including one of his own. The sheriff identified the suspect as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. He is dead. They say that police engaged him in his hotel room. They believe he acted alone right now.
And Bakersfield police also confirming that one of their own was among those who was hit, but he is expected to survive. And that's where we find 23 ABC's Faven Kay, who's live at Bakersfield Police headquarters downtown with the latest on this officer's condition. Faven.
Mike, Alex, among the thousands of spectators at the Route 91 Country Music Festival were several off-duty Bakersfield police officers, and like you mentioned, one of those officers struck by gunfire. Now, just 2 hours after that horrific mass shooting, BPD tell us that this trip wasn't planned, that it was just a bunch of their officers who love country music that wanted to head over to check out that festival. We're told that luckily all of those officers are accounted for and that some of them witnessed the gunfire but were not in a position to return fire. Police officials saying that the officer that was shot sustained minor, non-life-threatening injuries and is currently being treated in a Las Vegas hospital. In a statement, BPD officials saying, quote, Chief Lyle Martin and the entire Bakersfield Police Department extend our thoughts and prayers to the victims of this brutal act, as well as to the first responders of the Las Vegas Police Department, Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, and Las Vegas Emergency Medical Services. Now, we do not know the name of that injured officer. BPD saying that they will release that information after the situation in Las Vegas has been stabilized, but we'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you the very latest information as it comes into our newsroom. Guys, that's the very latest here at BPD headquarters. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
And I've been tracking this on social media all morning from people who were there, reporters on the scene. But first, I want to get to this photo that I saw for some people who may be confused on the situation. This is where the concert was right here. The shooter was in the Mandalay Bay Hotel shooting from a room. So this is where the gunfire was shot, across the street and at this concert. That is how far the gunfire was shot. And of course, we just spoke with 23 ABC's Leah Freeman. We are so glad that she is safe and unharmed. She took these photos of the news TVs that she was seeing there, and this is showing where she was at that concert. So here's the stage, and this is where she's saying she was, and she ran that way. We have another photo here of a Google Map, Google Earth view of this concert right here. And again, Leah was right here and able to run out of the side. And again, we are so glad she is okay in that situation. And we want to have this hotline posted for you for any relatives or loved ones. We know some people from Bakersfield were there at that concert. This number, 866-535-5654. We all have posted this on our Twitter pages, and we'll be giving this to you for the rest of the morning. This is the hotline to call if you are looking for loved ones and relatives. And real quick, before I go, this video right here is of the moment it happened as Jason Aldean was on the stage. This is from a viewer at that concert in the middle of when this shooting occurred. This video isn't loading now, but you will see that Jason Aldean is singing. You hear some shots. He's still playing, and then all of a sudden he runs off stage. That was the moment it happened there. And again, we are so glad we are hearing back from people from Bakersfield who are safe and sound there. And of course, we'll keep tracking this for the rest of the morning as this develops.
All right, Jada, thank you. So a little bit of a transition here. Let's talk about our weather. And this is some good news here. It's quiet and calm. It's pretty cool right now. 40s in Breckenridge, Tehachapi, and Pine Mountain Club, Fraser Park at this hour. Some 50s still here on the valley floor as we're waking up to calm, clear conditions. Yesterday, some winds picked up through our mountains down into our desert. That's that northwesterly flow setting up. So for the next couple days, we continue to have a fresh breeze and calm, quiet conditions.